For that, most people would believe you belong in prison. Their belief is based on a Judeo-Christian tradition of justice. Mine is more algebraic. It's a constant and a variable. The constant is the work you do. It has value, and it will be compromised with you behind bars. The variable is what economists call the VSL, value of statistical life. In this case, the value of your life versus the value of the life of the witness whose testimony will put you behind bars.
I can make it worth her while not to say anything.
Authorities have identified her. She was walking home that night and saw what she saw. She's made a preliminary statement. At this point, a bribe has a low probability of success. I'm afraid my equation is premised on a more permanent solution.
Killing her.
If her VSL is lower than yours.
Can't put a price on a life.
Nearly every department in our government has a VSL. The EPA's is 10 million. FDA's is 7.9. Department of Transportation is 6.4. The annoying beep that goes off when the people in the front seat don't put their seatbelts on. Ever wonder why there was no beep for the people sitting in the back? It would cost the auto industry $325 million a year and save 44 lives. 325 divided by 44 is 7.4, meaning that the value of each life that would be saved is $7.4 million. But since DOT values each life at only $6.4 million, no beeps in the back.
Those are statistical models to determine the cost of a life, not to decide the value of one life over another.
Oregon recipient protocols. What a teacher makes versus a hedge fund manager. We make comparative values all the time. And I've done it for you and Miss Carter. Bus driver versus a titan of industry. Volunteer in a local boys club versus a man who employs 12,000 people. Circled the relevant numbers.
Well, according to this, she comes out ahead.
Smaller carbon footprint. Works with at-risk youth. You give people paychecks, she gives them hope.
I'm not a murderer.
That's why you need me.
How do I tip your scales?
You're building a plant in Malaysia. I want it built in Detroit. My coefficient for America First is very high.
No, that's impossible. I've already put $100 million into that plant.
I never said killing hope would be cheap. Just ethical.
How can murder ever be ethical?
How can 44 people die each year because they weren't warned to put on their seatbelts? Some lives have more value than others. Move the plant, your life will have more value than the woman set to testify against you. It's nothing personal, it's just math.